Well, hello and welcome to the show. Glad you've joined us this week. I'm pretty excited. Trent and I are down here outside of Cave Creek, Arizona, and we're doing a little trail riding. We're going to talk today about using collection to help fix issues that come up on the trail. Buddy, sour, jigging, all of that's coming up right here on Discovering the Horseman Within.
Gonna take a ride on one true horse.
When I'm out on the trail, a lot of times I see people using collection or picking up on their horse's face and holding it super tight to try to control the emotions. You really need to learn to let go of them and then pick them back up again. And I like to start right here, working on just getting my horse to stop and stay soft and let the next rider play leapfrog with you and go on by. And that's okay. I don't care. Now right there, ride forward. I don't care whether you're riding with them or there's somebody you don't even know. Use that rider to motivate your horse. I love to just take my horse right here and just really make sure the softness is there and the brakes are there. If you've got a jiggy horse, the truth is your jiggy horse is a result of your not controlling their emotions. So I start at a very easy spot right there. I let her win, and now I'll go catch up to Trent. And Trent will just ride off again a little bit. And so I give my horse a little bit of a release, let her know things are going pretty good. And then as soon as she's feeling pretty good about it, I'll just kind of ride her back over here. And you don't always have to work on your stopping. A lot of times you can use collection just to keep them focused. And I'll drive that hindquarters back up underneath of her, drive her up here and make her work pretty hard. And I'm not going to worry about Trent. He's going to ride in and out of the picture, and he'll come back over here at a point, and my horse will get another release. So I'll ride up here, and you'll notice she's getting releases, but I'm not really harping on her a whole lot, but I'm also not just dropping her and letting her go. Now right here, I'll just let go and kind of fall in line with Trent again. And we'll ride along, and she got about a 10-second break, and then I'll just veer off and come back over here. And these are the same transitions that Trent was working Deuce on the other day. I'm working Ruby on those same transitions, but I'm also working on just having her stay focused on me, so that when I give her a chance to stop, I want her to stop completely. Now what I'm going to do, she's doing pretty good here, so I'm going to have Trent actually ride out of sight. I'm going to fall in line. Trent, let's take a circle here, and then I want you to ride off between the swirl and these other bushes, back over here to your left, and I want you to just left.
Yeah.
I want you to just ride off and leave me the next time I stop. I want you to go clean out of sight, and then just work your way back around these bushes and come back into sight, so you're not gone forever, okay?
Okay.
So right here, I'm just gonna go ahead and stop my horse and drop those reins. Right away, she wants to follow, and we just go right back to the same exercise. These exercises work the same every time if you take the time to do them. Now what's happening here, Trent's riding clean out of sight, and when he does, Ruby's going, no, wait, this is different, this isn't a drill. He's leaving me. And I have to just say, hey, it's no big deal, relax. Now, you need to do this exercise with good friends and people you can trust, because he's not actually leaving Ruby. Now, Ruby thinks he's leaving, and so she's gonna get pretty emotional. And I'm just gonna ask her to back up here and stand. And as soon as she wins that, let her get her brain back to me. Right there, she just kind of keeps losing it a little bit. I tell her, no, that's okay. I gave her a little bit of a head start to know what's coming and where to find the right answer before I asked Trent to leave. I wanted her to have some success before I made it really hard for her. Now, you can tell she just knows where Trent left to. I don't care what's going on. I just keep pushing her back here. I don't get in a big fight. Now right there, she's standing still, so I ride her off. Now when I ride her off this time, I've got her focused back on me. So I go right back to what I was doing, picking up those two reins, softening her nose, driving that hindquarters up, riding her up here, and I'm waiting for Trent to come back into the picture. And when Trent comes back into the picture, I'm going to give her another big emotional release and let her go hang out with Trent for a couple of minutes. He may have, like John Wayne, rode off into the sunset, and we may not see him again. You don't want your partner to be gone too long. You don't want them to leave the country. And you for sure, I like situations like this where Trent can go around those bushes and out of sight. And when he comes back in, he's coming in under that big swirl. When he comes back in, all of a sudden, your horse gets that chance to relax and understand it's all okay, and you're not off at the end of the world by yourself. That's one of the things I'm really cautious with. When I'm working horses that are likely to get upset or shook, I ride by myself a lot. But when I'm riding a horse that I think might get shook up, I want to try to give them the best advantage that I can possibly give them. So I'll ride back over here now, and we'll just kind of hook up, only this time, I'm going to go ahead and pass Trent. I'm going to ride right up here past him, and we're just going to ride backwards down the same trail we were riding on. And as I pass him, I'm going to have him veer and go off to our right, Trent, and go around these little bushes and come back. So this time, I took her away as far as she's concerned, but here in a moment, she's going to realize her friend left. And when the whole time he's gone, I'm going to keep her working and keep her just focused on me. The herd mentality says if I'm strong enough to move your feet, then I'm strong enough to protect you. So that's why you see the pecking order so relevant in the horse society. They look for who's strong enough to move their feet, and then that's the horse they trust for their protection. That's relevant to you as a rider because you have to be strong enough to cause the feet to move. So I'm not even asking her this time to stop. I'm just riding along here, and I'm watching, and when I see Trent come back in, I'm building her tolerance level a little bit at a time. And right there, here comes Trenton and Deuce. And if you have two horses that are bad about this, then it's really working both of them. Deuce is pretty solid and he doesn't really care. So he's also a perfect example. He's a perfect horse to come in here and help build her confidence. So I'll just kind of come back in line. Trent, go ahead and stop. Let me come up there. And this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to let Deuce stand still. And we're just going to work around him here a little bit. We're just going to work softening her nose and building that collection. By building collection, remember what we talked about last week, we're driving the hindquarters up underneath this horse. It's not just softening her nose. It's using her body. Now I'm not going to let go of her at all. And this time I'm going to ride away and I'll release her. As I ride away from that horse, I'll actually release her. Trent, just hang out right there for a minute, buddy. I'll release her and let her have a total break. And then what I'm going to do, as soon as I tip back towards her, I'm going to start picking up on her nose again and softening her face. I'm going to move her shoulders over a little bit with my leg. And I'm just going to make life a little bit more difficult for her. Ride her around here and make it a little harder for her every time she's really close to him. I want her to get to where she starts going, man, when I get close to him, things get difficult. All right, Trent, this time, just go backwards this way of what you went last time and go back out around those bushes. Take another little ride out of my view. And when you come back in again, we'll kind of rest again. Now, not every one of your friends is as easily directed as Trent is. So ride with people who you know are going to help you. Every now and then you get on a trail ride and people take off and they want to be gone, right? They want to go miles. This is what I want right there. I want to have kept her so busy that all of a sudden she's realizing her safety is with me, not with that horse, right? And I've used the collection exercise all along to do that. And what we'll do when Trent comes back in, he comes back in the picture again, which will be a couple of minutes, we'll let her follow and kind of fall in love with him again. So we've been talking about getting the horse to move its feet and let us direct its movement to bring its brain back to us. One of the things I like to talk about, Trent, let's kind of ride this way a little bit. One of the things I like to talk about in every clinic I've ever done is who's riding your horse, you or the guy with you. I really want my horse in tune with me. So what I'm going to do here is we're both going to stop And I'm just gonna let my horse sit here and soak for a second. This is an exercise I would encourage you to do. Now Trent, just go ahead and ride off. And I wanna know if my horse is gonna go with him. Boy, if they do, I wanna pick back up there and say, no, no, no. Stay right here, that's good, buddy. Come on back this way. Now what your job is, Trent, your job is to try to make Ruby move. Okay, you can't touch her, but you can do everything but touch her. That make sense to you? So I want her to stay right here, hang out with me. She thought about it, she came back, that's perfect. So I'll go ahead, release her and move her feet. Horses like to be moving. So I'm gonna move her feet again a little bit. Trent, this time I want you to come just trot right by me and clean out of sight. And don't stay gone too long, but come on back. Again, who's riding your horse? You or the guy you're with? Right there, you notice she tried to go with him? I'll just pick her back up. The more of this stuff you can do, now that he's gone, I want to put her to work. I'm gonna soften her nose, move her shoulders over, move her front end around her hindquarters, pick her back up, move her back over here, drop her, and let her stand. It's the same exercise, we're just changing it a little bit in that now he is intentionally trying to come by and you can whoop and holler and have a good time. You can do anything you want to do. If she picks up to move with him, even that one little step, I fix it right away. Okay, immediately I want to say, no, no, I want to be so darn consistent that one step causes me to say, no, we're going to fix it. I want you to stand right here, right there. She goes to move off. I tell her, no, you stay here and wait for me. Hang out here. And now this time, Trent, I want you to ride clean out of the picture again. Perfect. Perfect. And I'm not going to let her walk off right away. I'm going to actually pet on her for a minute. Let her relax. And then I'll ride her up here. And I'm going to do a little bit about what Trent's doing. I'm going to pick her up to a jog and work on those transitions right out here. And I love being out in the desert. You can do this in the woods back east or wherever you happen to live. You can use trees to do this. I don't need cone exercises. I've got all this brush and I can find this cactus and pick a spot and just work on softening this horse. Watch the transitions left to right. When you're riding and you're working your transitions, you want to see that horse's nose stay soft and flat and low. Ride that horse through here. And I want to just have this horse in my hands so quiet, and then I'll release her, and I want to know that she's going to stay where I put her. I'll pick her back up. She didn't bring her head flying up in the air and nicker and scream and take off running. She actually tolerated that pretty well. She's doing a really good job. And that's what I want to see on my horse. And I guess the point I'm trying to get across to you, a good friend of mine asked me one time, she said, Ken, why do you pick at your horses all the time? You're just constantly working on them. I work on my horses all the time so that they act exactly like Deuce. The more broke you get them, the more fun they are to ride and the more pleasant they are to be around. I want my horses to be quiet and safe and dependable all the time. And so I've worked, 17 minutes on just asking this horse to think back to me. Now we've spent lots and lots of hours building control. But when we actually came out here, we've only spent a few minutes teaching this horse that it's actually okay to think to me only. To where now, when Trent wants to ride up and stand next to me, I can easily ride off. If Trent leaves out of the picture, Trent, I'm gonna just drop the reins here and I want you to do a roll back, go around the bush that way and go up there where you're totally out of sight and then right at the top of those bushes, come right back, okay? And I love to test my horse this way. I love to set it up so that my horse has the chance to succeed and I have the chance to teach it something if it doesn't. Never look at failure as if you lost something. If this horse makes a mistake, that's an opportunity to better train her. Now, where is her focus? She definitely knows that Deuce went out of the picture over there. She knows he's clean out of sight. I can't even see him. I don't know where he goes. He drops off the end of the world when he goes behind those bushes. But he's over there on his own. While she's interested in where he is, her feet are not moving. You never actually know exactly what your horse is thinking. In fact, I don't even care what my horse is thinking that much. I care what they're doing. I care that they are doing what I ask them to do. At this moment in time, I know where Trent is. He's up there somewhere because she's telling me. I can't see him. Oh, there I see him going through the bushes. But she's not moving a foot. And that's what, to me, that's what makes the difference in a broke horse. When I get my horse to where they will pay attention to me even when their heart is elsewhere. Her heart is up there with Deuce running through the bushes. But she's willing to come back here, trust me, relax enough to pick up a weed and chew on it. Although I don't really like you chewing on weeds. And if you were riding with me, you'd hear me tell you all the time, don't let them eat while you're riding them. But you know what, right there, I like the fact that she's relaxed, she's quiet. Once I get that, I feel like I can do anything I want on the trail. I can work on my transitions. I can work on anything I want. It's a couple of simple, basic exercises that teach my horse. You notice as soon as Deuce got back what I did? As soon as Deuce got back, we went to work. What does that do? In her mind, she starts saying, son of a gun, every time he shows up, my life gets more difficult, right? I don't even want to see him. She's going to become more and more content for him to leave and go out of the picture just so she gets a break and a chance to rest and relax. The more we learn about horsemanship, the more we tend to make this mistake, is we forget to release these horses and let them relax the muscles in their back. You know what? It's not actually even reasonable to ask our trail horses to soften and hold it endlessly. The longer you hold this horse, the more they're going to push their lower jaw into that bit, and the more they're going to build the strength in the bottom of their neck and hollow out their back. So you want to soften them and let them carry it for, 30, 45 seconds maybe, and then release it and let it go. So when I do this, I don't need my horse to ride in the bridle all the time. You know what I need? I need my horse to bridle up anytime I ask it. So if I decide to trot off around here, I can let her nose be. But because of the drills we've been doing for the first, 15 minutes of this whole lesson, now when I trot around here, when I pick up on those reins, instantly you see her drop that nose back and give me that slack. Right away I have her back where I want her. She has learned that the most comfortable place in the world is in my hand. I think I ask a lot of my horse. Maybe I ask too much sometimes. It would not be absurd for me to come down a hillside like that chasing a cow. And if I do that, I need that horse to come back to the bridle right away. My horses have to have the ability to respond softly to me immediately. That's why these exercises are so critical. That's why it's so important to take what we learn in the arena out on the trail and apply it. Integrity is a word that we hear a lot. We use it in a lot of different situations, and sometimes when we're disgruntled with somebody, we'll say, gosh, that sure disappoints me. I thought they had more integrity than that. As a rider, as a trainer, but more importantly in my day-to-day life, I think integrity is incredibly important. Trent, when you take a piece of metal and you heat it up, okay, metal's pretty strong.
Yeah, it turns
You
red.
heat it up under pressure and you get it past the red point. What happens is it gets soft, right?
Yep.
Okay, so when that happens, you can reshape it. But
Right.
at the point that it's heated, its integrity is weakened, okay? Now once you reshape it and you let it cool and you temper it, you have changed it, and in that moment you get most or all or even more integrity back into the steel. It can become harder.
Right,
okay?
yeah.
Our lives are like that. A lot of times things come along in our life, and if we have enough integrity, when the heat comes up, our lives get reshaped, but we don't just melt down and go away. Integrity is an inner strength. It's an inner source of, it's a character that if we have, we can go through a lot of different bad situations in life and people can depend on us.
Okay.
That's probably another way of saying integrity is dependability. People know If you have a high level of integrity, they understand they can trust you in a bad situation. They can trust you to be honest with them. They can trust you to tell them what's going on. No matter what, they know they're going to get the whole story from you when they ask, and they're going to get the truth. Trent, integrity is like the training exercises we've been doing here today. The more we worked on this horse, the more we put her in different situations, the more dependable she became.
Okay.
That's the way integrity is. We have to practice it. You don't just wake up one day and you have perfect, faultless integrity and everybody believes everything you say. You actually practice being believable. You actually practice being trustworthy. You actually practice being loyal to people, and all of a sudden they will say, my goodness, he has an extremely high level of integrity. You can trust that man. Trent, do you understand that? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, sir.
I hope it does, because in reality, it is a life-changing principle. If you hold on to that your whole life, you will be amazed at the things you are able to do and the people that trust you because of the level of integrity you possess. We certainly hope you've enjoyed this show. We enjoy bringing every one of them to you. It's our sincere hope that these are lessons that you can use and they're of value to you. Until next time,
May God bless the trails you ride.
he beat me to the punch.
Find out more about Ken McNabb horsemanship at kenmcnabb.com.
That one true horse, the perfect partner built to ride. One true horse, a bond that cannot be denied. You would search forever just to have the chance to take a ride.